This podcast is presented by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Welcome to Shift into Better Health, the National Diabetes Prevention Program's podcast series for Lifestyle Change Program enrollees. For folks who want to improve their health, have more energy, and prevent type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and stroke. The Lifestyle Change Program is proven to work. I'm your host, Captain Jack, radio personality and former professional truck driver. Each episode in this series is led by drivers for drivers and will cover a topic from the National Diabetes Prevention Program's Lifestyle Change Program. We'll talk about how to tackle challenges professional drivers face so you'll arrive at your destination a healthier you, faster and easier. Howdy and welcome back. In our last episode, we learned some practical tips for professional drivers to help you put spice and energy into your healthy habits. Today, we're going to focus on change for life. My guest is Sheila Lean, an advanced practice nurse who has worked with drivers for 7 years and understands the unique challenges they face. To get things started, I asked Sheila about keeping a healthy lifestyle going over the long term.
I know this wasn't easy. These are changes that you're doing and making every single day. This isn't, a one-time decision. These are decisions that you're constantly making all the time. I'm hoping that you found that, the more that you did, the easier it got. Sometimes just starting or that first week can be the biggest hurdle, but you should really applaud yourself because this is making such a big difference in your life and your health 10 and 20 years down the road.
Every now and then, Joyce and I talk about the positive changes I've made since doing the program. Her parents had type 2 diabetes, and so did mine. And now, I'm excited to share what I've learned with my children and grandchildren, so they can start making healthy choices earlier than I did. So, what comes next once the program ends?
Well, once the program ends, and hopefully you've reached your goal or you've gotten pretty close to it, you do want to try to keep continuing those changes. Those motivators that you used in the beginning are still there. If you're doing this to keep yourself healthier for your family, keep yourself more active with friends, with kids, those reasons are still there. You get to keep yourself healthy because, you're taking care of yourself and we're relying on you and, you're carrying out some really important activities.
Sheila, that is so true. Drivers keep this country going and for years have been on the front line getting vital supplies where they're needed. They are true heroes. We want and need them to be healthy now and to stay healthy to enjoy retirement. Now that drivers have learned the fundamentals of making smarter health choices, what are ways to make these positive changes last?
You're kind of regularly maybe weighing yourself, maybe measuring things. But in the future, what is something that you could do to still hold yourself accountable? Whether this is somebody else that was also doing the same program with you, or maybe whether you found somebody in healthcare that you formed a relationship with that maybe you're seeing twice a year, checking some levels on blood work that show, hey, I'm still doing good. So thinking about your motivators and thinking about ways to keep yourself accountable in the future hopefully can help keep this program going for you after it's technically ended.
Remembering your why for making healthy changes, ongoing support, and accountability are all linked to success. What are ways to continue to stay motivated?
Thinking about activities maybe that are easier for you to do now. There's video games that require you to, engage in some physical activity. Are there any sports maybe that you can participate in a little bit here and there that you couldn't before? Would actually enjoy walking around, whereas maybe before you'd get tired earlier. So kind of enjoying a little bit of extra endurance and keeping that up. And hopefully that can be a motivator as well.
What I'm most proud of? Having more energy to do the things I enjoy, like throwing the football around with my grandsons or walking on the beach with my wife.
Perhaps you've learned some new recipes, and so you can actually use that to cook for somebody else because you're showing them you care about them and, kind of showing off some new skills that you've learned.
That is excellent advice. In many cultures, food is a way to express love and to celebrate. And it is something we can enjoy throughout our life as we age and as our bodies are changing. But I know that not all healthy habits stay the same over time. Even though I have more energy, I can't do some of the same things physically that I used to. How does our physical activity need to change over time?
Changes that may occur to us as we're aging. It's normal for us to lose a little bit of muscle mass over time. Exercise is still important, so we can still put on some muscle mass and add muscle strength, gain strength from activities, from resistance work. And it doesn't mean you have to, be going to a gym and lifting a whole lot of heavy weights, even just doing other resistance exercises at home. So as we get older, we may find we have to change some activities that may be harder to go for a long run. And if we want to burn the same amount of calories, we might have to walk for a little bit of a longer period of time. We do need to kind of be aware of some diet changes and some alterations we may need to make in some of the exercises.
So as we move forward, what about goal setting for the next 6 months?
A couple of things. I think we'd want to consider what's been my motivator and is that going to keep me going, number one. And number two, do I have new goals that I want to set for myself now that I've been able to see how successful that I am? So are we able to add on a little bit more physical activity? Are we able to consider other new food choices, other ways of preparing food?
You've mentioned how tracking is essential for success.
So tracking of calories or activity, if we can do that, does contribute to success. It really can give you some evidence that you're able to look at that shows you, oh my goodness, this is really what I'm doing every day, every week. And sometimes it can even create a situation where you're kind of competing with yourself,
Competing with yourself is where it's all at. Most mornings, I would get a cup of coffee, head to the elliptical, and focus. You get on there and you're moving so many parts of your body. Part of staying healthy is watching your heart rate go up, or checking your distance, your calories, and your sleep time. Next, I asked professional driver John about the difference better health has meant for him and his family. He lost 7% of his starting weight doing the program.
Before I updated my action plan, I looked at my progress so far, how many pounds I've lost, percentage of the body weight lost, and the minutes of activity per week. The change, it wasn't easy, but I feel good every time I pass my personal best and get at least 150 minutes of activity. My coach and my family encouraged me on those hard days on the road. Seeing how I was able to commit to a healthy lifestyle makes me feel proud, and I'm deciding to remain healthy for as long as possible.
Thanks, John. I love it when you look in the mirror and go, wow, yeah, I did that. That's motivation to keep going. Well, that's all for today, folks. And that's all for Shift into Better Health. Congratulations on completing the program. As you make your plans for the next 6 months, remember to keep it realistic, doable, specific, and flexible. And don't forget to have fun. If you have any questions, reach out to your coach for help. And you can always come back to these podcasts if you need a refresher. Remember that America needs you healthy. Your family needs you healthy. You need to be healthy to continue living this trucking life. We're on this journey together, every mile of the way. For the most accurate health information, visit cdc.gov or call 1-800-CDC-INFO.